Good evening. Welcome to Just the News. I'm Faye. We have a lot of updates for you today, specifically on the farmer protest in Haryana and the states around it. So let's get started. To begin with, senior leader of the Bharatiya Kisan Union, Mr. Gurnam Singh Chaduni, has alleged that one farmer died because he was injured in the police lathi charge that took place in Karnal after he had a heart attack. So this is what has happened. The BKU, which is the Bharatiya Kisan Union leader, has tweeted and said, and I quote, "Brother Shushil Kajal, who owned 1.5 acres of farming land, had given his share to the movement in the last 9 months. He suffered serious injury in the police lathi charge at Karnal Toll Plaza yesterday, and at night he succumbed to a heart attack. The farming community will always remember his sacrifice," end quote. The Karnal police, however, have denied this claim, and the Karnal SP, the superintendent of police, has spoken with ANI and said this, I quote, "He did not visit any hospital. He went home in a stable condition and died in his sleep. Some are saying he died due to a heart attack. Reports of him dying due to injuries received during force used by the police are false," end quote. According to a report in the Times of India, the body has been cremated by the family without a postmortem, so the cause of death cannot be investigated at this point. But this action by the police, the denial by the police and the death of this one farmer has fueled fresh protests across many states. We now understand that there are some farmers gathering at highways in West Bengal, for example. But in the state of Punjab, a series of highway blocks were orchestrated by farmers yesterday on Sunday, demanding the dismissal of the subdivisional magistrate of Karnal in that video, who can be seen in that video asking policemen to break the heads of the protesting farmers if they cross that one particular line of police bandobast. And that video actually has made things a lot worse. In fact, Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar has responded to the viral video of the IAS officer Ayush Sinha's controversial instructions to the police, where he instructed them to beat the farmers and break their heads if they're protesting. The Chief Minister has said, and I quote, "Although the officer's choice of words were not correct, strictness has to be maintained to ensure law and order situation is kept under check." While addressing a press conference, Mr. Khattar also said if any action has to be taken against the officer, it would first have to be assessed by the district administration. The DGP is looking into it. To maintain law and order, strictness has to be ensured. He added, "There is freedom of speech, but there are limitations to every freedom." And I'm quoting here, "If I flex my muscle and move my fist in the air and my fist hits your nose, that cannot be construed or as my freedom," end quote. Now, this is incidentally different from what the Deputy Chief Minister said yesterday. Haryana's Deputy Chief Minister, according to the Indian Express, Dushyant Chautala, on Sunday said the government will take action against this officer. He said, "I'm pained," and I'm quoting here, "I'm pained from yesterday's incident and the way statements were made do not meet ethical standards of an IAS officer. Action will be initiated against him as per the framework of time. I feel he doesn't fulfill the oath that an officer takes to maintain his ethical standards. The government will certainly take deserving action against him," end quote. So here, Deputy Chief Minister and Chief Minister not exactly seeming on the same lines. In the meantime, the Karnal district magistrate, who is the senior to this officer, said, "Some words should not have been used. As the head of Karnal administration, I express my regret. But the SDM on duty is a sincere officer. He used some words in the heat of the moment. He shouldn't have. His intention wasn't wrong." Nevertheless, that video of him instructing the policemen to hit these farmers hard and to break open their heads has left a terrible taste in the mouths of several people who watched that video, especially the farmers who are now demanding his removal completely. An update now on what's going on in Afghanistan. According to Reuters, US anti-missile defenses intercepted as many as 5 rockets that were fired at Kabul's airport early this morning. The United States is rushing to complete its withdrawal from Afghanistan to end its longest war, the deadline for which it expires tomorrow. Reuters also reported that today's rocket attack was launched from the back of a vehicle. So things in Afghanistan getting increasingly tense. A Taliban spokesperson in the meantime said the US drone strike targeting a suspected suicide bomber in Kabul on Sunday has resulted in civilian casualties as well. The spokesperson, Jabihullah Mujahid, told China's state television, CGTN, if there is any potential threat in Afghanistan, it should have been reported to us, not an arbitrary attack that has resulted in civilian casualties, end quote. The US's Pentagon officials have said a suicide car bomber had been preparing to attack the airport in Kabul, where US troops were in the final stages of withdrawal. And they also said, the Pentagon also said that this suicide car bomber was attacking on behalf of ISIS-K, which is the local affiliate of the Islamic State, which the Pentagon called an enemy both of the West and the Taliban. An update on COVID from India. We have India has reported 42,909 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours, 380 deaths. Our national average recovery is at 97.5%, which is very good. Kerala reports some good news. Daily cases have dropped to 19,622, down from the 30,000 it has been reporting since Onam. And this is good news. We'll have to watch it, though, to see if it stays at this number. In the meantime, the World Health Organization says it fears another 2.3 lakh deaths by COVID across Europe by the 1st of December this year. WHO Europe Director Hans Klug has told reporters last week there was an 11% increase in the number of deaths in the region. One reliable projection is expecting it to reach 236,000 deaths in Europe by the 1st of December. Europe has registered already around 1.3 million COVID deaths to date. According to the Economic Times, a study from South Africa has revealed a new COVID variant called C12. Apparently, the study says that this variant could be more infectious. It could evade the vaccine's protective shield. According to the study, the variant has undergone mutations compared to C1, which is the variant that was first detected in South Africa, or was called the South African variant. That's the C1 variant. This is a mutation of that variant. Now, the new variant was found in South Africa in May, according to scientists at the National Institute of Communicable Diseases and the KwaZulu Natal Research Innovation Sequencing Platform. It has now been found in countries like China, Congo, Mauritius, England, among others. Virologist Upasana Ray told PTI that this one could be more transmissible as it has a potential to spread fast, and since there are so many mutations in the spike protein, it could result in immune escape and be a challenge for the vaccine drives across the world. News coming in now from the rest of the world. According to the New York Times, the daily average hospitalization of patients for COVID in the US is now more than 1 lakh people per day. Remember, America is seeing a sharp spike in the number of cases again. The influx of patients has put strain on the hospitals, pushing healthcare workers to the very brink, as the number of deaths have risen to an average of more than 1,000 per day for the first time since March. According to US top infectious disease expert Anthony Fauci, the United States has a greater number of coronavirus deaths than officially reported figures, he says. According to the CDC, more than 48% of Americans are still not fully vaccinated. Remember, America has also a lot of anti-vaxxers who don't want to take the vaccination at all. Also, Hurricane Ida has made landfall in Louisiana, leaving at least one person dead this morning. This was one of the more powerful hurricanes to hit the region. Homes were flooded and power cuts reported, according to CNN today. News coming in from the world of sports right now, and some good news for you. Indian shooter Avani Lekhara has created history. She became the first Indian woman to win a gold at the Paralympics, finishing on top in the women's 10-meter air rifle standing SH1 today. She's only 19 years old, and she's won a gold and set a record and equaled the world record score of 239.7. She led the field from the very beginning and sort of held her lead to secure that goal. This would be India's fourth medal and first goal in Tokyo. But immediately after that, by the end of the day, we had Sumit Antil, who broke the world record thrice in 6 javelin throws. 3 of them broke the record in the final of the Tokyo Paralympics javelin today. He's a 23-year-old from Haryana. He bettered previous world record of 62.88 meters, also incidentally set by him. And he bettered it 5 times in one day. With this, the world number one in the F64 category, Sumit Antil, has won India's second gold at the Tokyo Paralympics and the first in athletics. And one piece of positive news, if you need more, before we leave you for the day. According to Hindustan Times, a 29-year-old engineering graduate called Abdul Zargar has launched his own cab service in Kashmir, bringing taxis to the doorstep to people of the valley. This is the first time such a facility has been launched in the Kashmir Valley. Speaking to local publications, he said that his Novo cab service will help people from Kashmir who've suffered a lot over the last few years. The startup so far has 100 cars attached to it, which can be called through a mobile application using the exact location of the customer and the driver. Sort of like Ola Uber, but in Kashmir, so it's Novo Kashmir. Good luck to him and to all those drivers. That brings us to the end of the bulletin. Thank you so much. As your quiz for today, give us the latest tally of India's latest tally of the medals at the Paralympics. You'll have to keep updating it because it's changing so quickly. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a smiley face at the bottom of this video in the comment section if you found that helpful. The other thing I would like you to check out is our brand new offering called Money Love. The point of this show is to talk about how we can manage our money better. Let us know if you think we're doing a good job or if there's anything we can do differently, because this is really an area, this is a space we'd like to spend more time on. But in order to do that, we need to know if this is something you find useful. So our second episode of Money Love is up right now. You can take a look at it and let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Your feedback is really, really valuable. Thank you for watching. Good night.